Hey YouTube, it's Kenyatta. I just wanted to make a video tonight. I had a couple things I wanted to talk about. I was talking to Sunkiss one time, and she made a comment. She was like, "Everything is content," and I was like, "That is so true." You just talk about anything, in life can be content, and because sometimes it's like I kind of struggle with content. What am I going to talk about? What am I going to talk about besides, my religious studies series? But one thing I wanted to say, and this kind of came to me a few weeks ago. If there is something that you want to do, do it. And I'm not talking about anything, negative or to hurt anyone or anything like that, or anything that is going to, I'm hearing like belittling or, be hurtful to yourself. All right. I'm really talking in the realm of, who you want to be, what kind of career you want to have, what you just want to jump out on the waters and try, do it. Don't hold yourself back. What sparked that thought that I'm having here is, I'm so I work as a teacher, substitute teacher. First, I was a professor at a couple of the community colleges here in the area. Then I started substitute teaching. Well, I started substitute teaching because after I was adjunct professor, and I think I did that for like about at least 8 years, at least 8 years at three different campuses, and I liked it. I liked it. The only thing about it is, I got to be perfectly honest. The only thing about it is like you are constantly saying the same thing over and over again, And after the thrill is gone, after the what can I say? The newness of it wears off and everything. It's just kind of like, okay, I'm saying the same thing, class after class, semester after semester, over and over again. But I still liked it. That honestly, for me, that was the only downfall. I had issues with students every now and then. Not too much. It's different, of course, than lower education or elementary school, high school, that type of thing. Not too much craziness going on in the room. Sometimes, depending on the content, it wasn't like I was teaching math. I'm teaching religion, and what do they say? Two things don't talk about: politics and religion. So that would kind of, well, I can't say it made it a bad situation. It kind of made it actually kind of enjoyed it. I enjoyed the debate sometimes. I enjoyed the questions. I enjoyed uh, I enjoyed being challenged. So I definitely enjoyed, the back and forth with students that were being challenged with the information, especially if they were coming from a, religious background. And I want to get off too much into that. And I'm not sure if I talked about how I got into it, becoming a professor. It was something that I wanted to do. Like I would sit around all the time, read up on stuff and talk with my mom. And she was like, you really ought to be a teacher. You really ought to, be a professor. And I was like, I want to, but I just don't know exactly what to do. And I wanted to start off at the community colleges that I ended up working at. And I think I did talk about it in the video. I don't want to necessarily be repetitive, but you can look at my video, how I became a substitute teacher, or my path to substitute teaching, But after I did that, I tried to work a 9 to 5. Let me say, I liked working in education because I love having summers off. I remember the very first summer I had. I felt so bad for about a week. I felt so guilty, like I'm supposed to be going to work. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, no, you're not. You are off for the summer. Now, I mean, I could have went and got me a little part-time job somewhere or something like that, but I didn't. Excuse me. And I think after my first summer off, it was like, hey, this is bee's knees. I don't place. I had fun those summers. I enjoyed myself. I was hanging out with, some family members, so on and so forth. And I continued on with that. And then I did try to work a 9 to 5, but that was a terrible situation. And it was an at-home situation. I have never been watched as much in my life as I did working at home, And so that ended, thank God. Okay. And then I got into substitute teaching. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, substitute teaching don't pay much of anything. Okay. But I was able to do just fine, because, I just know how to handle my money, and And then I became a permanent building sub. Okay, but this is not so much about that. I'm just what I'm getting at is because I am, a substitute teacher or teacher, period. What I had noticed in I don't know what I possibly could have said or anything, that I started seeing these videos, and my algorithms on YouTube about all of these videos popped up. Why quit teaching? Why quit teaching? Why quit teaching? Because, hold on for a second, please. All right, sorry about that. Yeah, it was a lot of videos came up about why I quit teaching. Like I said, I don't know what I looked at on YouTube one day. Maybe I was looking up something about teaching. I don't know, but I saw like video after video after video titled "Why I Quit Teaching," and I had got hired as a permanent building sub within one of the districts here. And young lady was there that I met years ago. And sometimes when we would go to work, they wouldn't have anything for us to do. But of course, don't leave the building because anything could pop up, and we'll need you here. So there was a particular day. She's a little bit younger than me. She's like 43 or something like that, 44, something like that. I think 43. There was one particular day, neither one of us, there wasn't any assignments for either one of us. So we sat and talked, we had a good time. No, that's not what happened. Actually, in one of the rooms, they needed two subs in there. So we just ended up, working together. And, we talked, you know what I'm saying? Because we were at the high school. It's not a whole lot for a sub to do necessarily at a high school, at least the high school I was at. I mean, you take attendance and you tell them your assignment is on Google Classroom, just kind of watch them. That's pretty much it, because we can't necessarily teach that particular topic. So me and her, hey, we was chilling, we was talking, the students was cool, they was chill and everything. And we were just discussing, what moves we were gonna make, if we were gonna continue on as a building sub, what. And we both have our master's degrees. There was a PhD program that I was looking into. And, she was talking about a PhD program as well. And the thing about it is, though, it's like, I kind of began to rethink, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know at this particular time in my life because I just need something practical. I just need something practical. And I just, like now, I'm saying, PhD program can take a while. You know what I mean? And neither one of us have a teaching license, to teach in lower education. So because she's an adjunct professor at one of the same community college that I used to be at, she is too. She's on the list to teach, and she has taught. I think she still is. I don't think she was at first, but I think she still is now. So we were both like, man, I don't know. And but then the state has an alternative teaching license, and quite a few states have this alternative teaching license. Some of the teachers I met at the high school I was at that I really like had that's how they got into teaching. They had an alternative teaching license. They got an alternative teaching license because what they studied, there was no work. There was no work in that area. What they got their master's degrees in, there was no work in that area. Okay, actually, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. There were a few. So it's just like, okay, it can take up to 10 years. Some programs, give you 10 years, PhD program. Alternative teaching license is a very short way to, get your license to become a teacher. Okay. And I would talk to some of the teachers there. And I had a couple teachers tell me, no, this is something different. I'll get back to that. But so it's something we were both looking into because we both, kind of felt the same thing. We kind of need something practical right now. I want to do something more practical. We're older, middle age. We both have experience in teaching, even though it was, higher education, but we both have the experience in teaching. And then we have the experience as being, substitute teacher. So we had experience in, I don't know if she ever worked in the elementary schools. I worked from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. I have subbed every single grade. I have subbed every single grade. I have worked in special ed. Been a sub para, been a sub intervention specialist, teacher, all of that. Okay, like I said, with every single grade, with quite a few districts. Okay, here in the city of Cleveland, and quite a few of the suburbs of Cleveland. So, it was just something we were thinking about, and I ended up. Now I am at the middle school. I got the opportunity to get on the administrative side. Okay, at a middle school, at the middle school for the same district. And I talked to some of the teachers, and just some of the people on staff at the high school. They were like, "Don't go to the middle school. Don't go to the middle school." Okay, but I was like, number one, it paid a whole hell of a lot more. Okay, I was like, "Whoa, they really need somebody," because it paid a lot. Okay, not only that, it was like this thing: the first 15 days is this pay, and then after is the higher pay, and we will, pay you, that amount from your first day, after those 15 days, which tells me, okay, they really need somebody in this position. They really need somebody here. And I had subbed at the middle school one time when I first started subbing. This was one of the suburbs that I would sub in when I first started subbing. And at one point I was like, man, I ain't never going back to no middle school. Okay. Every middle school that I had subbed in, it was man, it is, let me tell you something. It is not easy to be a substitute teacher, okay? And I'm sure everybody out there, except maybe for people who were homeschooled, has had a substitute teacher as a student. And you know how you do substitute teachers, okay? So I had to change my, sweet, nice personality. Okay, to that dark side. Okay, if you all knew the power of the dark side, boy, it really makes a difference as a substitute teacher in that classroom. But anyway, I had people tell me, don't go to the middle school, don't do it. But no, I'm going, because like I said, it paid more, and it gave me more experience, like I said, on the administrative side. And I questioned it for a while, like, you sure you want to do this? I was like, I'm going to do this. I applied for it. I went for it. I'm going to do this, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, I think this is my 4th week. Now, I'm going into my 5th week. I love it. Okay. I love the students. I love the age group. I just love it. Now, I was talking to someone else, faculty staff at the middle school. And I was telling them, I'm thinking about getting that alternative teaching license. They also have the alternative administrative license. And I do like working on the administrative side. And she was like, why, don't do it. Why would you want to be a teacher? Okay. Now, for me, at this point in my life, it's about practicality for me. Okay. Now I know you can do anything you want to do, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. No matter how old you are, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. Okay. But I'm looking at where I'm at, which I have not shared all my business about where I'm at. Okay. And I like it. I actually, I love it actually. I love that age group. I love forming relationships with the students. I love forming relationships with faculty and staff. Okay. I love education. Even growing up, I just always liked school. I always liked school. I like learning. I like the learning environment. Okay. But these videos, I'm seeing this, why I quit teaching, why I quit teaching, why I quit teaching. And after a while, it became kind of disturbing. Now, I'm not bashing anyone, who has made, a choice, to say, I don't want to do this anymore. Trust me, I can understand, working even, as a sub. And I don't even really know all the red tape because, again, I'm going in as a substitute. Okay, so I don't know all the red tape. I don't know all the politics. I know any workplace. I mean, shit, in your own house, there's some kind of politics you got to deal with. Okay, no matter where you go, where there are people, there are gonna be issues. There's gonna be your positive and negative. There's gonna be some kind of politics. Okay, um, relationships, so on and so forth. There are gonna be people there that you don't like. There are gonna be people there that don't like you. There are gonna be people there that you can work with wonderfully. There are gonna be people there that you can't work with at all. You know what I'm saying? It does not matter. No matter where you're going. Like, shit, I used to wait tables when I was in college, and I used to love waiting tables. I had fun, and we had shit going on there too. You understand what I'm saying? It's everywhere. Okay, it's not something that you can escape, but it's how you deal with it, how you navigate. Navigate it. Now, I'm not acting like I'm some great guru or something like that, and I've overcome. No, there's always going to be challenges in life. Okay, no matter what you do in every area of your life, okay? And you can hang with it, or you can't hang with it, or don't want to hang with it no more, okay? And say, hey, I don't want to do this. But just understand that the next place that you go, the next step, there's still going to be some challenges, okay? Maybe there are challenges that you don't mind dealing with, okay? As opposed, because see, them challenges I dealt with when I was working at home, okay? No, okay? I'm trying to work on my cussing. Okay. And I haven't even gone into detail about it. But it basically, what I want to say is, no, fuck you. You're not going to sit here and treat me like I'm some kind of fucking prisoner and I got to be glued to my seat for 8 hours. I can't even go. I'm in my own house. I can't even go to the toilet without you questioning where I was. And actually my fucking work is done. Because the shit is easy as fuck. And I have finished it, and I got, 3 more hours of work to do. And that bothers you. You understand and then you want to harass me. No, bitch, fuck you. You understand what I'm saying? Take your job and shove it, But anyway, and then this wasn't even an area I like. Like I said, some places you can deal with the politics of it. In some places, no. There have been some places that I've worked and I can deal with the politics because I like it. You know what I'm saying? I like it here. I like what I'm doing, May not like some of the stuff all the time. I understand that's how life is, you know what I mean? Sometimes we don't like ourselves sometimes, okay? But we keep on moving forward, and deal with it. But this was something I didn't even like, It's just like, why am I doing this? This is a waste of my time and my energy. So it wasn't something I was willing to deal with. You're not going to harass me, okay? But anyway, that's just how I felt about that. Okay. And I'm not even using a piece of my brain to do this work. You understand what I'm saying? I like mental stimulation, bitch. This was not mentally stimulating to me at all. You understand what I'm saying? But anyway, what I'm saying is, so, I'm seeing all these videos, and it just kind of bothered me. Like, what the fuck is this? So I watched a couple of them and I was like, yeah, okay, I get it. I get it. And then there was one video I saw where he said, why quit teaching? And then, I don't think it was a year later, but it was quite a few months later, he said, why I unquit teaching, okay? And I watched both videos, and I was looking at the comments, and there were people actually dogging this man out because he chose to go back into teaching, okay? Now, part of me felt like, what about the students? Okay? What about the children, okay? And I just, because sometimes, like social media, some things are just, you see a video, people sometimes I feel like people create content. They see these videos or whatever, and, they got how many ever thousands of views and this, that, and the other, and they want that too, and to get paid through YouTube and all of that, type of thing, all right? And so sometimes it's just, okay, so this is... they're trending now, the trend, let me talk about this because this is what, other people are talking about, and I just felt like, do what you want to do. Don't allow yourself to be, because I feel like sometimes, I know in my life, I have, and I'm human. I'm sure someone else who's watching this has as well. Sometimes we allow ourselves to be too influenced, by what other people have to say about what we want to do, and I'm going to tell you something. You can go into something and really enjoy it, and you might be the only person, maybe, you and maybe a couple other people who out of hundreds who really like it. despite the issues, despite the red tape, despite the politics, despite, whatever the other negative aspects of it are, you might still like, hey, this is what I like. I'm enjoying it. But, and it's almost like, I guess you could call it that crabs in the barrel. It's like there'll be people seeing that you are and enjoying it, and here they come with their negativity. It's like they want to pull you in and suck you in, into that negative space. And you find yourself sucked in and complaining about it just like them, and becoming disgruntled by something that you actually liked, that you didn't mind. You didn't mind dealing with the blues of it, the negative aspects of it, because this is what I like. I don't mind doing this, And I did I felt like, what about the children? I know, listen, I don't know. It really made me, because I'm not really into politics like that. And I've been watching some videos lately, made me, really want to get into politics, have an because to me at one point it just seemed like it's so convoluted. Shit, it's just so much shit, and it's just so much history that I don't know, that brought us to this point. But I have been watching, just kind of a grow up thing, and I've been watching some, people on YouTube. That's maybe kind of like, I'm developing an interest in it. And it damn sure made me want to look at what's happening in the realm of education, because for me as a sub, it was just, initially it was just, oh, this is just a job, but then once I, to pay my bills, not a career or anything, just job, pay my bills right now until I, figure out, get on my feet and figure out what I'm going to do. But then the more that I'm in there, and I'm seeing things, it's like, something, I need to know more, because it is like, everyone's being affected, and I just think about these children. So if everybody want to quit teaching, okay, then what is going to, then what are we saying? Are we, and I'm not throwing no guilt trips on anybody. That's not the point. It's like, are we just neglecting these children? Who, hey, listen, there have been times, and this is no bash on teachers at all. Trust me, I do understand being in there. And it's one thing being a substitute, and it's one thing being a teacher. It's one thing being a substitute who I'm just covering this class for the day. And another thing being a teacher who has to deal with that class every single day, for months, I have been thrown to the wolves in some districts, okay? I have been given some tough classes. And it got to the point, because my second week of substituting, I realized, okay, I got to be hard as nails. Okay. And I wasn't even in the middle school or high schools. I was in the elementary schools, and not in the city. And ironically, when I did start subbing, I subbed in the city. I've never had the things that I have had to deal with in the district. I mean, in the suburbs, I never had to deal with when I was in the city. But I didn't sub in the city that long either. Okay. So that stereotype was completely thrown out the window for me. All right. But I was hard as nails, because I had to be, because these children were running over me. Here I am. I'm here for like 6-7 hours today. Are you kidding me? And so as a result, one particular district that I used to go to all the time, and that's not the district I'm in now. I always go to the elementary schools, and that wasn't their middle school. I think the elementary was like K through 3rd, and then they had a school 4 through 6, and then they had middle school. Well, I would go to the K through 3rd and 4 through 6 schools all the time, man. And let me tell you, they would purposely put me in them hard rooms, and there. One teacher said one day, she said she passed the room was so quiet, it was the wildest room in the building. And she said, they're so quiet in there. And somebody said, yeah, Miss Lewis is in there. They said, oh, yeah, that's it. So they would always give me, I love those kids. I love them, you know what I mean? Because, the harder I was with them, after you kind of establish this is who I am, this is what I'm going to deal with, this is what I ain't going to deal with, then, that would take about to the middle of the day, toward the end, I'd loosen up and be free. I would get more, those kids, they would hug me, they would love on me. I get all kind of pictures. Those classes, where I really wasn't taking no stuff, they would be mad at me, man. They would test me. Oh man, they would test me. I had one class, it was so bad. And you will not believe this was the second grade. This was the second grade. Okay. These kids were so, oh my God. It was, man. The sub was that class the day, because the teacher was out. The teacher, I don't know if she had somewhat of a breakdown. She couldn't take it, And I saw her actually this year at another school, same district but another school. Okay, she was just like she couldn't come back. It was that rough on her, So there was a sub who was in that class the day before I was. Well, she was older and she's subbed much longer than I had. Well, the kids would desk at her, you know what I'm saying? Hit her, all that kind of stuff. She left. She was like, I'm out, So I went there the next day. And let me tell you, at least here, you don't know what, they don't inform you at all what you're going into, what it's going to be. They don't tell you none of that. Okay. So, I just went in blindly, you know what I'm saying? And they was rough. It was tough. It was only one student they would not allow in the room with me. As soon as she got there, it was like, get her. So I didn't even have an opportunity to even meet with the child or anything. You know what I'm saying? But the boy who hit this up day before, he was still in there. The one who threw the desk, he was still in there, But it took a while. It took a minute, but I got it straight, And it's like what I would like to do with them was, I could be hard on them and this, that, and the other, and tough on them, this, that, and the other. That's what they understood, number one. Number two, but then I took the opportunity to speak life into them. You know what I'm saying? They knew they was bad, quote unquote bad. They knew that some people may be looking at them as rotten. Okay. These children nowadays, it's like they come in the world wise. They come in the world with a knowing. Like, when I was born, my eyes were closed. Back in the day, when babies were born, their eyes were closed. And I think my mom told me they would be closed for a couple of days or like a day or something like that. These babies now, okay. Well, they probably been long coming in with their eyes bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Hey, I was here. You understand what I'm saying? I'm here, And they have, and I don't think I want to say wisdom, but the knowing, I'm not saying that, I don't think it's from necessarily a social media. I do think that comes into play at a certain age, but when they're real little, it's like these children, it's just like, wow. I mean, it's just amazing. I love children, okay? It's just amazing to me. It's amazing to watch them grow. It's just amazing, But nevertheless, so then I would speak life into. So they knew people who looked at. So when I would speak life into them, no matter how, bad or tough they might have been, there's still something positive there about you. You know what I'm saying? My pastor, he died. I used to tell people he would make Jeffrey Dahmer feel like the number one stunner. Okay, he could just he would see the positive in you, no matter what, no matter the negative, no matter how, rotten a person might be or how bad they may be, or whatever the case may be, however negative or seemingly lost cause they might have been. And he would see, if he saw a glimpse of the power of the positivity in that person, that's what he spoke to. That's what he spoke to. That's what he highlighted, and I learned that from him. I learned that from my mom, the woman who raised me, so I was able to do that with those children, and that was kind of, it was probably after lunchtime. You know what I'm saying? It took that long to get right. You know what I'm saying? And those kids love me that when I went back the second year to sub, they put me with those kids again. And they were in the third grade by that point. They put me with those kids again. And boy, they were worse. You know what I'm saying? But I stuck it out. I stayed, I remember one time very first, It might have been my second week subbing. I didn't have shit. I didn't know these schools. I hadn't been to school since I had been in school, and I went to private school growing up, so I didn't know any of the. I didn't really know too many of the public schools. I knew the area, knew it was rough, but I didn't think anything of it. I was a few minutes late. I turned into the parking lot. It was like I was like, what the hell is this? It was no windows anywhere. The windows were real high up, and they had that whatever they put on them windows, so you can't see out. It looked like a little prison. Some said turn around. I turned around, was like, you're in the projects. And I was like, oh shit. I was about to back out, okay, and go home and call him and say something happened. I couldn't make it. I promise you, it was like the good Lord said to me, you better go to work. Do not do that. You told them you were going to come. You made a commitment. You go in there and you face whatever it is. Face it. There are other people in the building that could possibly help you. There was only one time that I left an assignment. And that was because I had no backing, no help at all from the administration. Matter of fact, I think the whole school was like ED, the whole entire school. I had no clue. Like I said, they don't tell you, that would have necessarily stopped me from going, even if I did know. But what it was I was in a classroom. The woman, this was for sure the teacher who had that class. They said she left, they had up out there with nervous breakdown. They had to, the ambulance had to come get her one time. And then they told me, I was in there by myself. They said, legally, you are not supposed to be in this room by yourself. And so, I called the office, like, you have to get somebody in here. I mean, it wasn't, I can't really describe it, and I would have stayed. I would have had no problems, but I had no, it's like when you have support the administration, you can make it through, but if you don't have any support, and I had absolutely no support. I mean, they didn't care, It wasn't so much like the secretary and them. She was sitting up there looking like, this is what he does. It was the principal. And, hey, you're not going to help me. You're not going to send anybody in here. And I'm being told legally, I'm not even supposed to be in this room by myself by the nature of what, the kind of school this is. Then, I could call the school board or whoever on you, you know what I mean? So that was only one time, and that was when I, first started. And it was like these children, there was no being hard as nails. There was just no understanding at all, and I'm not putting the children down. I'm just saying that was the nature of the school, So with teachers, I can understand clearly, why many of them might want to leave, Now, it's one thing, with people making these videos, if you are sincere, it's enough thing if you're just making some videos to make some videos, because you want your shit to have however many thousands of subscribers, okay? And even then, you can do whatever the hell you want to do, okay? Really, I can't, I'm not gonna say you can't do this and you can't do that. You can do what you want to do. You're an adult. But I guess for myself and what I want to share with others was, because at one point I was like, well, shit, I don't know, and you know what I'm saying? And it just kind of hit me. If that's what you want to do, then that's what you do. Don't allow yourself to be influenced. But really, when you look at how many teachers are there here in America, and many of the schools are having some of the same issues throughout the country compared to these few that you see, here on YouTube, all right, with this complaint of, why I quit teaching. So I just wanted to say, if you want to do something, do it. Don't allow, because there's always going to be naysayers. There's always going to be people with, negative words to say. Because I'm sure, and I know plenty of people are always looking at, why is she a substitute teacher? Why is she doing it? She got them degrees, she got this, that, and other, blah, 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 this, that, and other. Because this is what I want to do for right now. I don't like at the time, I didn't like, I liked teaching. I liked the, like I said, summers off. I like having the days off, so on and so forth. Although subs don't get paid for that. Now, if you're a permanent building sub, then you do, if you're hired by the district, then you do. That's a different story. You work for the agency, at least here where I'm at, then no, you don't, but it was something that was working for me at the time. And it was what I chose to do, and really, it's none of your damn business. You understand what I'm saying? And I have found value in it. You can find value in just about anything. If you, choose to look at something from a positive perspective or a different perspective than the norm and then what everybody else got to say about it. Who cares what everybody else got to say about it? Have they done it? Are they doing it? No. And I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about young people, most definitely, substitute teaching, and watching just the development. Like I said, I done sub from kindergarten all the way. And I got to be honest with you. You may ask, what grades do you like the most? My favorite grades back then, my favorite grades before this year, I can say, was fourth grade. Oh my God. I just love those fourth graders. Oh my God, I love fourth graders. But I can tell you one grade I did not like teaching. I didn't ever want to teach them. And I don't think I ever will ever again. And that's the kindergarten. Okay, the kindergarten. She looked at me. She smiled at me. She thought about me. Snot is everywhere and all kinds of like, oh, this is so gross. Get away from me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like kindergarten, okay? And I mean, it's constant whining, all that. But, I understand because they're literally transitioning from, preschool, from their home, some of them preschool, and this is a whole new, being thrown into a whole, new environment for them, okay? It just was not for me. But never, you would think that was the easiest. It was just like, ugh, I don't like this, But anyway, I just wanted to say that, I don't have any, and then I was seeing, I had got accepted one time to teach abroad in China. I was not able to go, okay? And I was pissed that I was not able to go, but it actually worked out because that's when, the whole virus and pandemic and shit, hit, and I would have been overseas, living, when that hit and affected the entire globe, from the looks of things. So that kind of worked out. And I'm saying that because then I saw some videos, streaming, not back then, but recently, why it was teaching abroad ain't working for me, and why it's so terrible, and why it's so bad, and why it's so, listen, people, if there's something that you want to do, just march forward. Don't, and, I didn't look for those videos. I didn't look for, why people stop teaching or why people shouldn't teach abroad and all of that kind of stuff. It just popped up, and I don't know if I had a thought because with the AI and all that type of shit now, however they figuring out what you thinking and what you doing and all, and then all of a sudden it pops up there. Or maybe if I had a conversation on the phone, or if they heard me talking to the young, my phone, however this shit works, you know what I'm saying? Heard the conversation I was having with my coworker, and boom, here it is. I don't know how, but those were not things that I was looking for, but there it was, but, and it was just like, oh God, this is so tired, and it's nothing against people, we have YouTube, you do what the hell you want to do, you make your videos, say whatever you want to say, just like I do. But so what I'm saying to say is I didn't look for those things, but there those things were, And sometimes, we can be so easily influenced. All of us. It's just not just them. People, adults are. I mean, hell, social media. Look at social media. It ain't just the children who are influenced by what's happening on social media. Full-grown, blown adults are influenced by what's happening on social media. The thousands of voices on social media. What other people got to say on social media. Hell, we're influenced before social media even came to be and the internet came to be, at least into the hands of the common man. People are constantly, we are influenced by what others have to say, what others think. Often we have ideas and whatnot, and then we'll ask other people what they think. And, you may see a lot of videos nowadays or works being done saying, don't say shit to nobody about what it is that you want to do. Don't, it could be your closest friend or whatever, and I don't think necessarily all the time people are just being negative to try to trip you up. No, it's just a part of life. You know what I'm saying? It's just a part of our being. Some people are going to do it. Some people, yeah, they try and trip you up. They don't want to see you succeed. They don't want to see you do well. But that's not always the case, even though they're saying something negative to you, like, their thoughts about it. People are going to express their thoughts about whatever, But I just want to encourage you, if it's something you want to do, go ahead and do it. If you're able to do it, go ahead and do it. I feel like you don't have to, I've done a lot of things in my life because I wanted to do it. I did. I met, and as a result, like I think I said in another video, I met a lot of people from all walks of life. Have had wonderful conversations, have had wonderful experiences. One thing that my students used to tell on my evaluations when I was a adjunct professor. Well, one thing they liked about me, and most of my evaluations were good. I had a bad one with that online, situation, but because I told them don't give me no class online because people they want to go online and want to have a class online, but you don't want to read all the stuff that the professor puts online for you, and then you want the teacher to walk, hold your hand the whole way through. No, you be a responsible adult and you look, and if you absolutely cannot find it, then you get in touch. But a lot of people don't do that. They don't look for the information. They automatically email the teacher and ask them, and that really irritated me. And see, I will tell you quickly. You need to look, you need to look online. Everything that you're asking me is right on the syllabus, and and right in all the directions and everything, and I posted it before classes even started. And then people get mad. Well, you can get mad. I'm not going to hold your hand. The information is right here. Take the time to look. And then if you absolutely cannot find it, and you let me know that you look, but they didn't even let me know they look. They just get mad because, no, I'm not going to hold your hand. I'm not going to do it, it's not going to happen. So I got a bad evaluation for that. But other than that, I never got a bad evaluation. And one thing the students liked about me, I was teaching religious studies. I've shared with you all on some of our videos when I studied with African Hebrew Israelites. I shared with you all. Oh, I didn't share that part yet. I even was a Muslima. I was practicing Muslim, for a while, and I would share my experiences, with my students, and they said that they loved it. It meant more, than me just reading out of a book and blah 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 blah. The experience that I had just in my own personal life. Now, some people have looked at me over the, oh, she lost. Okay, well, that's okay. You understand what I'm saying? I do more than just sitting the same house I grew up in all my life and don't go past my sidewalk, or the same city, that I grew up in. I've lived in other cities, and don't go past, they'll go past within a 20-mile radius, So if that means lost, and because I'm not sitting in church anymore, because, I had questions just like the Siddhartha Gautama, who became known as the Buddha, and I went and studied, and I went and researched, and I went and looked. Okay, it afforded me many opportunities, met many people, learned a lot, just in the search for myself, who I was. And one thing that I had found was, even in, just going away to school, getting out of the state, shit, I'm going to a whole nother part of the country, man. I found a city that I love, love it to this day. Met many different people from many different places. Shit. I remember when I was a kid, when I graduated from, well, it was after I graduated from high school. I didn't go away to college. I stayed home for my first year of college. I had got accepted into Grambling. Me and some friends at school, we got accepted. My mom was like, "You ain't going to Grambling." Okay, so I ended up going to Howard, which is where I wanted to go in the first place. But my first year, I stayed in, went to community college my first year, which was great, because people used to put down community college, but community college helped me, and I didn't find, now this is me. Yeah, I don't know what your community college is like. I don't know what nobody else's experience is like, because I paid attention, because I wanted to know. I did not find a community college to be any easier than the 4-year university that I went to. Not at all. Okay, I had to put in the work, and I had to study. Okay, if I wanted to do well, if I wanted to learn something. Okay, it was not an easy ride. Okay, now this was back then, and then when I taught community college, my class was a little different. I didn't necessarily make it easy, but I wanted it, because of the nature of the topic, I wanted people to absorb the information, not so much just memorize the information for a test. So I did have quizzes. Did I have quizzes? No quizzes. I had a midterm and a final. I had them do, actual go out, type of thing, experience, and papers, because again, I wanted them to absorb the information, not just memorize the information. So through experience, the experience of meeting with people of other religious faiths, and going to their places of worship, if they were able to. But what was I getting at with that? Um, Oh, so a friend of mine that I used to hang out with all the time. We were young. Summertime, man, me and him hung out every day. We had a ball, and he was like, when you go, how are you gonna change? You're gonna change, and I was like, no, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? What do you mean? And I was like, it's a black school, and he was like, yeah, that's why you're gonna change. And I was like, what do you mean? I really was like, all black people are the same, but here I was, 18-year-old kid. My experience was right here in Cleveland, East Cleveland, Ohio. I had traveled, but I had never lived anywhere. Traveled for vacation, but I had never lived any other place but here. So that I really literally thought that, all black people the same everywhere. He had been to college. He had done his first year of college, and he was like, no, they're not. Now, he didn't go to, HBCU, but he still met people, other people, people from different places, I had not, and when I went there, I saw, wow, this is a whole different world. What, a different world. Y'all remember that show, And even I had people trying to tell me don't go to Howard. That ain't real. That ain't real life. That type of thing. Whatever. This is where I want to go. And I'm gonna go. And that was a great experience there too. It's fine. It's college. Period. Real life. Now there may have been again, there are pros and cons to everything, okay, but you still live and you navigate through life. You choose. You make a choice. Do I want to look at this from a positive perspective or a different perspective, so that I can, live, and when I say live, I mean like Jesus said, live more abundantly, you know what I'm saying? As opposed to always being in this negative space and negative mindset, So I'm just saying all that to say there are many things that I've done. I've been criticized heavily about who I am and what I've done. I hear one person, she's a tarot reader, and I was just about to say it. I like what she said, because I say it after I've been hearing her say it, I say it a lot. Now, I don't mean here on YouTube or anything like that, but I'm about to say it now. I give no fit nuts. You understand what I'm saying? Say what you want, think what you want, feel what you want about me. I could care less. I've done many of the things that I've wanted to do, and it's been a great experience for me, very positive. You know what I'm saying? People always look at you from the outside. Okay. They really don't take time to talk to you, because I've actually would have people come up to me. I thought you was this, that, and the other, until I took the time to talk to you and get to know you. Just like me, I've done that to people too. This is things that people do. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have nothing more specific to say to you than that. If there is something that you're thinking about that you want to do it. I don't mean nothing about going to hurt nobody or hurting yourself, okay, or anything on a negative spectrum like that, okay. I'm talking about maybe, it's maybe a kind of business you want to open, maybe you want to start a YouTube channel, okay, or whatever the hell, in that regard, those types of things. Maybe, you want to change your look, you know what I'm saying? Hey, do it, okay. Your life is yours. Okay, your life was given to you. You know who you are. Okay, and if you don't, you focus on the being of who you are. Don't worry about what nobody else got to say about you. Okay, I did that. I allowed that to happen to me. When I say I've done the things I wanted to do, I did do the things I wanted to do. I did a lot of things I wanted to do. Some things I wanted to do, my mother wouldn't let me do. It was times when I was too young, or well. Okay, this is the example I'm thinking about. I was when I was in college, last year of college, I worked at this restaurant in DC. Okay, this is when I first started waiting tables. Okay, the majority of the people at that job, they were white, and man, listen, I had learned some things from them I didn't know anything about. Like, there was one girl, she was telling me, when you graduate, you should go backpacking in Europe. I had never heard no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, little black girl from East Cleveland, and I'm sure there were students because I was filled with all kind of black folk from some of everywhere, okay, who done all kind of things. But my friend collective weren't part of that, or anybody that I had talked to. And I looked at her, I was like, what? What is that? What you mean? And she told me about it because she had done it. And she was like, oh, I was like, well, I can't do that by myself. She's like, yes, you can. It's very safe. And, she broke it down, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. Well, I called my mom, told her I want to go backpacking in Europe, when I graduate. And she told me, she said, I think you need to go somewhere and get a job, well, my heart sunk, because I was looking for support. And and I didn't really have to ask her for permission at that point in my life. I was an adult, called my dad because I knew my dad would have been like, yeah, baby, go ahead and do it. But his wife answered, wife number 3. Okay. And, she was just very negative, very nasty, and my dad wasn't there. Well, at that point, my heart was just kind of sunk, just kind of broken. I was like, okay, forget it. But now I look back, yeah, hell yeah, that's something I should have done. Now I don't know at 50 years old if I can say I should have done it by myself. Now, if you had caught me about 3 years ago, I would have said, yeah, I should have did it by myself. Just went on ahead and did it. You know what I'm saying? But whatever, it's still something I feel like I should have done. That's what I mean. If there's something that you want to do, just make sure that it is a safe situation for you to do. Just cover all your bases. CYA, cover your ass. Okay. It's just funny. Like I hear, people say that they want to do things or they want to live somewhere, and it's just so negative. Oh, it costs this much to live there, or this is that and that and the other. Yeah, but there are people that live there. There are actually people who live there, and not everybody who live there are millionaires. Um, there are people who do these things. There are people who teach. If you want to teach and you see the video, oh, I'm scared, I don't know if I want to get into that, and now when I was coming up, they used to tell us when I was in high school, people would change their career 3-4 times in their life. That's probably what y'all gonna do because people do that. So hell, if they told us that back then, you damn sure know that's how it is now. Okay, because there's so much out there. One thing about the internet, I feel like it has opened up the world to everyone. I've learned so many things, from the World Wide Web, from social media, from others. Okay. Who I never would have met, you know, um, had we not had this tool right here, social media, and the internet. And so just about anything that you want to do, you can find out how to do it, how to make it happen, just by touching a couple of buttons on your, phone, going in your browser and finding out whatever it is that you need to find out. Maybe sometimes may not know what questions to ask. You may not know exactly, how to find what it is that you're looking for. You don't know where to begin, but it's there. The resources are there. Now look, I'm going to DC next week. Now, I love Washington, D.C. Okay, period, point blank. It's one of my favorite places. Okay, it feels like home to me. Okay, and I was telling my daughter, we're going to do a trip to D.C. because I wanted to take her to Howard's campus, and amongst other things, maybe the White House. No, I'm just kidding. White House, all that stuff. Okay, but the school that I'm at, the middle school that I'm at, guess where the 8th graders are going? They're going to Washington, D.C. They need chaperones. Okay. I didn't think anything of it until I was asked, would you like to be a chaperone? I was like, yeah, but your daughter can go as well, free of charge. And you get a stipend to go. See? So if I had to listen to how bad the middle school was and how, and now we're going for free, I don't have to worry about putting together no trip, for me and her for the summer. Okay. So if I had to listen to how bad it was and how bad the kids was and how, it's like putting your hand in the blender, which someone actually said to me and all those type of things, that's an opportunity that I wouldn't have had. Now I don't have to worry about paying for a trip to DC. Okay, I'm gonna try to go to New York City, take my daughter to New York City this summer. So I'm just saying, the things that we can miss out on. And I met some wonderful people. I met some wonderful, listen, I just the way that I am, my energy can be real high, and I like to move, and I like to move fast, and walking through those hallways when the bell rings, and them young people be, oh boy, I be right in the midst of, it just brings me excitement. I just like it, you know what I'm saying? Because my energy level is high, you know what I'm saying? I just like being right there with them, boom, boom, boom. Hey, Miss Lewis, hey, Miss Lewis. Even after I done had to put the hammer down on some of them, they still look at me the next day. Hey, Miss Lewis, hey, Miss Lewis. I just like it. I love it, So I'm just saying, I'm sure there might be days where I come home like, Lord, they really got on my nerves today, maybe not, but I'm saying that to say, don't look if there's something you want to do, you don't know what, God has in store for you in that particular place, in that particular arena. You don't know what blessings, may come to you. Don't miss out on those things. And hey, and if you go do it, you say, hey, okay, I'm gonna do this thing. You go do it. No matter what, you're going to get some experiences out of it. Okay. And like my mom used to tell me, learn what they call them, learning opportunities. Everything, every step, every step, every minute of the day, every step that you take, who you meet and blah, 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 relationships, conversations, so on and so forth. Everything is a learning opportunity for you, for your growth, for getting more in tune with yourself, getting more in tune with the greater, the creator, who is within, so on and so forth. We sometimes, again, we have to just change our perspective on things, so, and then you say, hey, I don't want to do this no more. I thought I liked it, or, I don't want to do it no more. Guess what? That's all right too. I remember my brother told me, every now and then he would tell me some good things. And he told me one time, because I have done a lot of different things. I have. Okay. At this point in my life, I don't have no issue with it. I love it because I did allow what people had to say about it and about me. I did let it affect me, for years, what they thought. And, they saying this about me, my little feelings, her blah, 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 blah. Please, honey, who cares? Who cares? It's not too many places I go where, I don't know somebody. It's just not. Yeah. I have had men that I was dating complain because every time we go out, it's somebody there that it is. Okay. Because I talk to people. I've had a lot of experiences, in a lot of different areas, arenas, and so on and so forth. And I open my mouth and I talk to people because I like people. And I like who I am, and I like to share myself with others, and I like them to share themselves with me, and that's just who I am, and that's just how I am. Okay. No matter what, sometimes the experiences are very positive, sometimes they're negative, but I still learn. I still grow. It was still an experience, and it was an amazing experience, and it's an experience that I can learn from and adopt to whatever my way of thinking of being, whatever the case. However you want to look at it, okay? But, he said to me one time, and I don't know what prompted him to say it, but he might have just knew I was feeling pitiful because of what, people had to say. And he said to me, let me tell you something. He said, if you want to learn how to play the piano, go learn how to play the piano. And if you decide you don't want to do it no more, then don't do it no more. Okay? He said, if you want to then go somewhere and pick up a guitar or something like that, go on somewhere and do it. And if you don't want to do it no more, you don't do it no more. And if he said a few things, do what you want to do. Live the life that you want to live. It's not always easy. It can be challenging. Again, we have so many voices, but the voice that we should really be listening to is the voice that is within, and the voice of God. I am a strong believer in prayer. I am. I don't care what anybody has to say about it. I have seen things. I have had wonderful counseling sessions in prayer. Okay, it has helped me grow. It has helped me all my life. My mother, lady who raised me, when me and my brother were little, she used to take us. We used to have little devotionals when we were little kids with my mom. She opened up that Bible, read a Bible verse, and we all sing a little, hymn or a little Christian song we learned in our school. So she laid that foundation for me, not just taking me to church. She took the time to teach me, or she took the time to take me to places who would teach me and the value of, a relationship with God and the value of a relationship with prayer. And it has helped me tremendously. So, you take the time to listen to the voice within who you are. Okay, not who other people are, not what they have to say about it. Now, there's nothing wrong with if you ask someone and they tell you their opinion, don't just absorb it and say, well, I'm going to do what they say. No, you weigh it. Like they say, eat the meat and throw away the bones. Sometimes, like I tell the young people at school, and if you ain't asked for it, you don't have to eat nothing. If they just want to throw you negativity, they just throwing you bones. I want your bones. You keep your bones. Ain't no substance on it. No meat to help me grow. You keep it for you. That's your state of being, your state of mind, your state of life. You hold that for yourself. And you don't even have to tell them that. I'm just saying, let that be the spirit of it. You understand what I'm saying? And move forward with who it is that you want to be and what it is that you want to do. Okay. That's about all I got to say. Okay. I just want to share that. All right. Y'all check out my website, kenyattasintuition.com. Okay. I do readings on there. I think that, I'm check out kenyattasintuition.com. And y'all be blessed. Peace.